This is the Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran podcast.
Hey family, welcome to Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran. This is that time of year that we celebrate our freedom. Officially, June 19th has been dubbed that beautiful date that will live on in infamy. The date that represents the day when the last of enslaved Africans learned that they were indeed free. Free from the chains of servitude, free from the stronghold of those who would keep humans oppressed, uneducated, and ignorant of their own worth. Free to live, love, and laugh as God had planned for each of our lives. Free to read, study, and understand Galatians 5:1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Today, I want to impress upon you, stay free. You see, our God provided us with this freedom that we have, and Galatians 5:1 reminds us to embrace, walk, and live in freedom, and no longer should we be entangled, encumbered, or disturbed by the yoke of bondage. Of course, that really means refuse to allow anything or anyone to deny you your God-given freedoms. Now, someone is wondering, how can I, in this wide world of turmoil, trouble, and pain, live free? I am so glad you asked. God's word has so eloquently stated, while we are in this world, we are not of this world. We happen to be spiritual beings having human experiences. So our true Father, the Heavenly Father, is our lead and guide. Our true strength, all power, and our freedom was authored by and comes from God. According to Galatians 5th chapter and the 13th verse, for ye were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. Awkwardly enough, freedom is not a concept that releases you to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. But freedom provides an opportunity for us to show love to and serve one another. Contrary to popular belief, we are never able to walk in and enjoy real freedom in the absence of God and His Holy Spirit. As 2 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter and the 17th verse reminds us, now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So please understand, while we appreciate and enjoy June 19th, and the fact that God has so smiled on these, our people, on this day that it has been declared a federal holiday, your true freedom and my true freedom can only be fully realized from embracing the presence of the Lord. Yes, the presence of His Holy Spirit ushers us into the liberty that only God holds. So a real relationship with the Lord ensures the freedom that no man, no government, no political party, laws, rules, or regulations can take away. You see, God's word admonishes us to study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, the same truth that brings about freedom. According to John, the 8th chapter and the 32nd verse. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I now understand why slave owners and those who wanted to keep stolen Africans in bondage forbade them and all others from educating our people. It is becoming painfully clear why still today so many are fighting tooth and nail to control the teaching of historical events. True, documented events from being taught to our youth in school. Please understand, those who become educated are able to read. Those who have been blessed with the ability to read can then study and ask God for understanding. The same are able to exercise wisdom, and through the grace of God, truth is revealed. Once again, John, the 8th chapter and the 32nd verse. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Because so many slaves were illiterate, they were also kept ignorant of their own freedom. That is, until someone went from state to state, spreading good news of the truth of their freedom and providing protective measures so that they could walk and live in those freedoms. Some of our ancestors did not walk and live free until years after all had been declared free, because they had to wait until protective enforcement was present. Today I want you to remember you are free, and God's word, which declares the truth, has been written so that you and I study to demand and guard our own freedom, along with those of our children and all youth. Remember, the quickest way to stunt the growth of a people is to rob our youth of their truth. Yes, there are so many distractions being placed in front of our children that flashing lights, fancy phones, along with most interesting features are becoming gods to our youth, and sad to say, even to many adults. If you do not believe me, watch some folks in church as they are enamored and even infatuated with the bells, whistles, gossip, and inappropriate messages that mesmerize them, even in church. Distractions are so beautifully entertaining, while freedoms are quelled by noisy, flashing lights and the inordinate affections that tickle so many, even on their cell phones. I say either tickle them or lull them to sleep. In the meantime, while you are taken aback by smartphones and gadgets, some work diligently to change laws, confuse issues, remove rights and privileges that should be available to all. Be careful. As God's word has said, put on the whole armor of God, because so many seek to take away common freedoms. For in God's word we find liberty, sustaining truth, but each must find it for him or herself. I urge you to gain your freedom beyond the physical, but freedom in mind, soul, and spirit. Someone has said, stay woke, but if you spend your existence asleep, I say, wake up. Please don't forget Ephesians, the 6th chapter and the 12th verse reminds us that we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Yes, as an educator, I see our youth walking around like zombies, glued to their smartphones. The more gadgets and fancy features that excite our youth, the more ignorant our students appear. Please allow me to explain. Students are currently challenging educators and administrators to keep their phones on their person during instruction. Too many who can barely read struggle with comprehension and are years behind academically. They want only to peruse their phones day in and day out, from the beginning of the class period to the end of the class period, even in the midst of teaching and learning. The only constant is the cell phone. Too many come without paper, pencil, or an attitude to learn, but they all have their phones. The same refuse to bring school-issued devices, and when they do, they're not charged and ready for the work period. But what is charged and ready for the day are their cell phones. You see, the challenges that our children face are desperately mounting against their desire and even their abilities to become educated. Every parent, each authority, and all of God's people must get back to seeking the Lord and His Spirit as the enemy seeks to keep our children bound, lacking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and thereby our communities ignorant and enslaved, even if only in the mind, which, as you already know, is actually the most dangerous kind of bondage. Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And whomever the Son set free is truly free indeed. In a nutshell, your freedom requires God's word, the truth, the Spirit of the Lord, which gives freedom. Yes, our ancestors were freed from slavery, thank God. But today many have yielded themselves to mental, technological, financial, and spiritual slavery. After all, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You see, we appear to no longer be living in physical servitude, but be careful of the lens you are seeing through, because slavery has taken on a new look, a new attitude, a different opinion. But the same old tricks prevail, distracting from the truth. The truth will set you free. Our freedom in various forms is under attack. According to Romans 6th chapter and the 16th through the 18th verses, we are warned, know you not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness? But God be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered to you. Being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. Yes, each of us remains slaves to whomever or whatever is able to control us. Those of you who have given yourself to God were once slaves to sin, but thank God, due to your studying God's word and embracing His truth, you have become servants, even slaves, to righteousness, which ironically renders us free. Because wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Whomever the Son sets free is truly free indeed. Before you light a grill or light up the fireworks to celebrate, enlighten your children, our youth, family, friends, and neighbors, so that all will understand the truth of our tumultuous journey as a people. And you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. I pray that each of you study God's word and embrace the Spirit of the Lord, because wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, God's most precious freedom. Stay blessed with God-ordained freedom. Freedom, my friend, is never free. It requires sacrifice, legal advice, fervent prayers from you and me, a time of searching, conversation, and working, faith and trust in God. It takes patience and time and a heart to find faith after toiling so hard. Please understand, it is God's plan. We'd have all that He has said. But most important to know is we must live to show God keeps every promise He made. But for God and His Son, we would not have won. Just know this battle is the Lord's. God created each of us, so to honor him is a must. He paid the cost we could not afford. So the freedoms, I say, we enjoy today has been prepaid in full. Please encourage our youth and teach them the truth of God-ordained liberty to pull. Stand therefore in the liberty for sure, wherein Christ has made us free. Be not entangled anymore in the bondage that lure the enemy set for you and me. But in Jesus' name, such freedom to maintain has got to be understood. Parents, teach your children the true value of choosing God and all that's good. Teach our youth his word and its truth before you light a grill. Educate each one of how God gave his son to save the world within his will. The freedoms we know took many below, paved by blood, sweat, and tears. From dusty roads and heavy loads, our trust in God quell all fears. You see, all that we call freedom has come at a hefty cost. From the neck of George Floyd to Trayvon Martin, whose precious lives were lost. It took the brutal execution of Breonna Taylor and a trumped-up warrant, no knock. None charged with the crime, but at the same time, a system paid millions to block. Amir Rice, a child waving a toy just for fun, gunned down by police, can't change what's been done. Yet we learn from our mistakes and take from the past, teaching family, friends, and children so knowledge will last. Freedom, my friend, is never really free. It takes wisdom and understanding to embrace this liberty. Family, know where you came from and who you really are from a different past, and hold it fast so God is never far. Jehovah Sidkenu, our righteousness, for each he has a plan. Spiritual beings enduring human experiences, all in God's holy plan. Whomever the sun sets free, just know you're truly free indeed. Rich knowledge will make you wise, so you see through open eyes. To parents' instructions, always take heed. Juneteenth commemorates the freeing of slaves, a liberty so desperately desired. So in our freedom today, hold this truth close, I pray, to remain uplifted, encouraged, and inspired. Well, family, this is number 110 of Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran. Freedom is a concept, a state of mind, and a lifestyle. For our ancestors, freedom was perceived as a physical concept at first. But through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we know that freedom is mental, spiritual, and physical, affecting mind, body, soul, and spirit. I thank God for Juneteenth, as it is a holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. It is also called Emancipation Day or Independence Day. The name Juneteenth references the date of the holiday, combining the words June and 19th. Of course, it was back in 1865. Before you light the grill or light up fireworks to celebrate, learn and then teach our youth the true meaning and cost of such a celebration of freedom. Make certain that they understand the many sacrifices that were made to be able to say, we are finally free, and all that maintaining freedom will entail. Additionally, please connect the value of an education coupled with the truth of our existence and the Spirit of the Lord to the freedom that goes far beyond any physical enslavement. It is my prayer that each will embrace our liberty, teach our youth the truth of who and whose they are, and revive our movement for God-ordained freedom that only comes from the Spirit of the Lord. May God favor each of you with blessed freedom. On a separate note, I must thank God for speaking with my beautiful sister, Jackie Gilbert, this week. After enjoying her touching words of wisdom, I want to pass on a most important message to every husband and wife. Stop taking your spouse for granted. I repeat, stop taking each other for granted. Back in the day, I heard my mother saying, "You never miss the water until your well runs dry." An old proverb that really means as long as he or she is present, you tend to devalue or lose sight of how very valuable and how special they are, and how richly God has blessed you to have your spouse. While they are not perfect, as none of us are, God has favored each husband with that good thing, or every wife with her Boaz. Now, they may not be like such and such, look like you know who, or have the money like fill in the blank, but they are a blessing from the Lord. If you don't believe me, check with someone who has lost their spouse, and then check to see how very blessed you really are. I praise God for my husband every day, and I'm urging you to love, cherish, pray with, and for each other. Most of all, don't wait until your well runs dry, until he or she is gone, to count your many blessings. I want you to love, honor, and give all the beautiful flowers while you can both see and smell them and enjoy each other together. May God renew, revive, and bless your beautiful union. Yet another freedom that God has so graciously granted. God bless each of you. Please don't forget to say something on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter page. You can listen to me on Amazon Music or YouTube as well. I welcome your questions, comments, critiques, and suggestions on topics you'd like to explore. Who knows, you might just end up being a guest on an upcoming broadcast. Remember, I'm just a regular girl navigating this diverse world. I'm looking forward to each of you. Until then, take care of yourself, each other, and stay blessed.
The Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Log on to castropolis.net.